here I am. Hello and welcome back to Novelty with S&B. I'm your co-host Beck.
And I'm Stephanie.
I think this is like our Christmas episode.
Yeah.
I see your background. It's very festive and fun.
Yes. It's a winter desert. There's a sorrow. Why to zoom in on me? There's the cactus.
There's a cactus. There's a cactus.
Secret lab.
Secret lab.
Just showed up. Cover. But yes. I went with the theme. It also matches the book we read too.
The book we read. So. Yeah. We'll go over that before we go over the rest of the things. But first, what tea are you drinking?
I am drinking pink tourmaline dragon fruit hibiscus white tea for women's health from Magic Tea Hour, of course. Because I ordered a big pack from them, and this is one of my tops. This is one of the ones I will be repurchasing. There's also wellness benefits in it for women. So it said that it aids digestion, which powerful antioxidants, boosts immune system function, and promotes healthy looking skin. So the ingredients are blackcurrant, white tea, shatavari, mango, dragon fruit, schisandra berry.
Sure.
Ichin, something I can't say. Hibiscus, ginkgo biloba, lemon balm, tulsi, monk fruit, and natural flavor extracts. The other one is ichin. It's
echinacea.
ECH. There it is. Yeah, echinacea. You know, I should just ask you. You know, all the things.
No, I just I used to grow it because it's really good in teas or in like balms and stuff. But then you know we were on the third floor and it killed everything. So it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. What am I drinking?
Yeah, what are you drinking? Sorry.
I'm drinking the Nutcracker blend. It's black tea with chocolate, almond, and hazelnut flavors. And he's so cute. He's so fun.
Look at his cheeks. I love him so much.
I love Nutcrackers. They're my favorite. I don't know if you can see him back there. You can't, but it's okay. And I got this very cute teapot.
Oh my God. Who got you that?
Stephanie. Here's the other side.
It's super cute.
I
saw it when I was shopping, and I sent you the picture, and you're like, I'm gonna have to go to Home Goods, and then I already had it in my cart.
Well, it's a good thing you did because I went regardless because you sent me also the picture of the Christmas cards.
Yeah, there was Nutcracker stuff everywhere.
And it wasn't there, so it's a good thing you did actually because
it was only one too. There was no others. So
you're precious.
Glad I got it. And it was so inexpensive.
Yeah, for a teapot, I'm surprising. Yeah,
very pretty.
I think so I have the tea for one set, which is like this is like the teapot, and then you put it on top of the teacup, so it's just like a tea party for one. I think this was just as much. So
yeah. Pretty sure my husband's getting me actual tea glasses or cups of sort because I had mentioned I'm always drinking it out of coffee mugs. And like you helped me with the beginning of my, so I've always liked tea. I just didn't drink it as often. And then we started talking about it. And then now it's like become one of our things. But you bought me my kettle that I use all the time now because I used to microwave the water.
That we got yelled at.
I got it. Yeah, by British
men.
Sorry,
it's
guys.
fine.
Yeah, but so you got me that, and then he's buying me. So it's like I'm slowly getting to years later where I should be. Honestly, I just don't think of buying things like for myself ever.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have coffee mugs. It's fine. And now I'm
I have a vessel.
Yeah. Right. It's very good though.
It's very good.
But yeah.
Fantastic. So I figured we could start with Snake Eater because the second book that I have is more of like a more Christmas themed, and then we could go into like
yes, because all I read was Snake Eater because I'm still not done with
it's like
Strength of the Few.
A holiday season book. Or something.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah, got a lot going on.
All right, so what are your thoughts?
So Snake Eater is about Selena. She has escaped a not, I wouldn't say it was like terribly abusive, but like it's definitely like not a fun relationship to be in. Her mom recently passed, which is, you know, hashtag relatable. And she finds these like notes that her aunt had sent to her mother, and she's like, well, maybe I should just go and see my aunt instead of going back to this relationship that I'm not terribly in love with anyway. So it's like this small town in Arizona, hence the background. And she meets a cast of characters along with her dog Copper, who is a black lab, which is no Copper anywhere, which was a point of contention in her relationship. And she discovers that this small town kind of has this inhabitants of spirits, I would say. And one of them has particular interest in her, and she kind of has to figure out the best way of going around that. I think that's the best I could possibly... And there are creepy moments. I wouldn't say it's like a horror, but there are definitely like moments.
Unsettling things. So I'm trying to look over my notes here. I want to make sure. I think for me, there will be some very minor spoilers. I can go into it without spoiling. So for me, like the atmosphere, I give it an A+. Yeah. It's a desert. It's where I live. So it makes it very fun. It's nice to see desert representation. You just don't see it too often. Especially with like, there's so much like magic and superstition in the desert. Especially because there's a lot of like native grounds here and so much like awesome spiritual stuff goes with that. So I haven't seen, I know they're out there. Just personally, I haven't seen too many. So it's often overlooked. So it was nice to see that representation. I will say with so our main character Selena, her scripts are like, she talks about how she has scripts for like every conversation, and that was like scarily relatable. I thought maybe I was the only person who did that because I remember like going into work and knowing like, okay, today we're going to have a meeting about blah. And I would think of every possible scenario that would come up. So I would have something to say. I would do this like out loud sometimes in my car on the way to work. Okay. And that way it's just, I have it in my head and I don't have to worry about it.
I'm the same way. Yeah.
Yes.
Crazy.
I thought I was just weird.
And like, I used to explain it as like a Rolodex of answers. And she like she does it. She has the perfect description of it, of like having a script for every scenario. And Jesus Christ, that's the one thing about T. Kingfisher. She always makes me feel so seen.
Yeah. Like I'm like, oh, I'm reading it, and I'm like, I'm not the only person who does this.
Other people do this.
Other people do this.
And other people are uncomfortable meeting new people because of this. Fantastic. Yeah.
Or when someone like says something and you don't have something to say back, and then it's like I like freeze. I go into like the freeze mode because I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no. So relatable. All of her characters are always, like you said, like they're always the most relatable girls. Like that's probably, I mean, one of the many reasons why we love her so much.
I also really appreciated that there was no actual like description of what Selena looked like in the book whatsoever. Fantastic. I've been trying to get this as a thing forever, and finally, T. Kingfisher, our Lord and Savior, has answered my prayer.
She always does. So I remember asking you. So you had finished a book before me, and I'm like, is this gonna ruin Roadrunners for me?
Yeah.
And you were like, no. And the way you said that, the Roadrunner, it's more misunderstood.
Yes.
Perfect explanation. Because absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
Again, I don't want to give like major spoilers, but I was worried because my mom loved Roadrunners, loved them, and I like them too now. And then when I see them, I'm like, oh, like I think of my mom. And so when they came up in the book, at first you're not so sure if they're gonna be. You learn about why.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't want to give anything away, but it didn't ruin them.
No, it didn't. It was just a misunderstanding. And in all honesty, like Roadrunners are what they are, right? And I think that Kingfisher also has a very good way of like explaining how things are what they are, and it's like there's not ever an excuse for being a shitty person, but like, you know,
it is what
it's in its nature, you know.
Especially in their work.
Yeah.
They're not human.
Yeah.
So.
And they mate for life, which was very cute.
Yes, very much. I don't want to kill scorpions anymore.
No. That also was very personable to me as well, as far as like wanting to let things outside, because I am one of those people, so I would hope that if it ever came to a battle of the spirits that I would be spared.
Yeah, I've killed a scorpion. Your dog was chasing it.
Oh, okay.
So like watching Milo, I was worried, and then my dog was like, "Hey," and I'm like, "No!" And like,
"No, guys, stop!" Yeah, because Milo would be dumb, and
he was hanging out around the pool, and like, because that was in our rental where we had the pool where we played volleyball. That was so fun. Makes me want to get a pool just so when you guys come out in the summer we can
just play volleyball and get dunked on the entire time.
It was still fun.
It was.
But yeah, so I did kill it, and now I feel bad.
Yeah, but it probably would have stung because Milo's an idiot.
And to be fair, it was one of the little ones.
Yeah,
and the little ones are worse. And that's another thing I love about her is she like does her research. She's not just gonna like randomly bring up boysenberries when she doesn't know the history of them.
Yeah. And the fact that, oh my God, even, okay, so I had a conversation with
that book.
I had a conversation with my husband about palindrome, because apparently this is just conversations that I have in my daily life of palindromes, which is also another reason why I love Kingfisher so much, is because like I can never have I been like so comfortable with an author.
Yes.
Because like she gets me. And that was in the book. The palindrome that I made up, well, I didn't make it up. It's Dog God. It was in the book. I was like, are you kidding me? Why is it here?
Yeah. Yeah. Because you had a conversation with Jeff about.
He's like, hey, did you know that race car is the same forward as backwards? I'm like, yeah, that's a palindrome. So is Dog God. And then it came up later.
Yeah, and he was like, nobody says that. And then you could take your book and be like,
here it is.
Actually.
Kingfisher says.
She always has your back, right?
She does. I would love to meet her at some point. Like if she ever does like a book tour, not to be like.
Imagine like her and Nat Cassidy doing a tour. Like
and not to be like, oh my God, you saved my life. Just be like, hey, I think you're really cool.
Yeah, I feel like we're friends.
Yeah. Nat Cassidy for a different reason, because like he gets it.
Yeah, he gets us on a different super level. And but so does she.
She does.
It's so they can just write. But in the Goodreads what do you call it, like synopsis of the book, it's mentioned she mentions 3 other authors, so I'm gonna have to take a look into them, because it says a witty horror tinge fantasy perfect for fans of Silvia Moreno Garcia. Now I knew she wrote Mexican Gothic, which was really popular on TikTok, kind of why I shied away from it. to be honest,
yeah,
I'll look up other books by her. And then there is Chuck Tingle and also Rachel Harrison, so I'll have to look up some books by them too, because just the fact that they're mentioned makes me very curious, you know, whether or not they're worth
looking into. Yeah. And of course, you know, there's always going to be that time where it's like, yeah, they're similar, but not quite to the same.
Yeah.
But I'm
could be down to give another author a try. So
of course,
I love finding new things. So in true Kingfisher form, she definitely has a style. So the story does start off as they all do. But I will say, even with that, like the meat of the story, the premise is always so unique. So I'm never bored with her writing. Like, even though the beginnings are very similar in like how
girl escapes
here to there.
Yeah.
They are. Once you get there, they're always so atmospheric and awesome. And the wit that she has. And like I see that with like Sanderson, but that's all like fantasy and sci-fi. So it's really like a special author who can like bring in humor to horror and blend it seamlessly where it's not corny or like you read it and you're like, no, it's actually funny. Like I find myself like,
right, yeah,
I'm laughing, haha, like it's funny. Nat Cassidy is also great with that. So I love that in an author who can do it without overdoing it, without it being corny, without it being like, she does so good with that.
She does.
And for me, so in the past we've had like ladybugs, right? Roses. There's just things that come up in moths. There's things that come up in T. Kingfisher books. I'm frozen. There I am. That like seems to come up again, and then we think of it, right? We like see a ladybug and I'll be like, I'll take a picture of it and send it to you, right?
Yeah.
So with this, she does it again with this story for me, because when I'm driving through like Arizona to go see you, or when I'm flying, you ever look down like out your window at like the little tiny, like who lives there?
Yeah. Selena does.
I'm gonna think of this. This book's gonna. She has such a way of making her story stick with you. Like ladybugs, it's her. Moths, it's her. Roses, it's her. Small Arizona towns, her. Like she is so good with making that story stick with you, and I think that's really, really cool.
Well, even like Cucinas, right? Like any of those like Native American icons is just gonna be like,
yeah,
I read a book about this.
There's a bunch of them in our house. I
know,
because my mom enjoyed them. So
that's also very interesting, is that she's able to take cultures but not like make them into like what they're not either, like she takes like ideas from a different culture, like obviously, well, I don't know, she might be Native American, but being able to integrate that into a novel and not make it feel like it's like I don't know, like commercial, is very nice.
Yeah, and she's not exploiting it, and she's not trying to make it look like stereotyping. She doesn't do that. She researches her subjects. You can tell by her writing, you can tell what she says. She knows what she's talking about, and that's always appreciated in stories. So for me, it doesn't top my two favorites, and I don't think anything ever will. By Ones and the Hollow Places.
100%. Yeah.
Those two are my number ones by her. But I do enjoy it. I highly recommend it. And if you're somebody who appreciates a book who can pack a lot in a small amount of pages, this is great because it's only 271 pages.
Yeah.
So
doesn't take much.
No, it's not very long. I really liked it.
I liked it too. Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun. A fun read.
Okay, so you didn't read anything else? No, I'm just kidding. You actually were reading. It's just that like it took forever to finish it. Yeah. I read Sunless Solstice, Strange Christmas Tales for the Longest Nights. It's a collection of short stories that was curated by Lucy Evans and Tanya Kirk. So it goes through, I don't even remember how many stories there were. It was like 19 or 20 short stories packed into this book, and it was in chronological order. So you get like very old to newer. I'm not going to go through every single one because that would be insanity. But my favorite one was The Apple Tree by Daphne du Maurier, which is of Rebecca fame. She wrote Rebecca, which is fantastic book. Everybody should read that. And so the story is that it's the tail end of winter. Our main character, which we never know his actual name, but his wife refers to him as Buzz. That's like his nickname. He tells us later that he doesn't like that nickname, so it ended up falling off. He's shaving and he notices a stooped apple tree that looks a lot like his dead wife, Midge, who passed away about 3 months earlier in this story. But he doesn't care. Like, he doesn't give a shit that his wife has died. He hires a maid and hires a gardener, and all of he's taken care of. Yeah, he just carries on. He goes on vacation. Is happy to be without her, which is so frustrating because like you're the main character. I'm supposed to like root for you. I don't like you. But the apple tree reminds him so much of her that he like requests that it gets taken down immediately. But because like it just like looks like her, I guess it's like this like old frail apple tree that like just is in worse condition than it should be, and he's just like, I can't look at it anymore, I need to get it taken down. But the gardener, he's like, no, it's gonna bear fruit, we're gonna just keep it until we have apples and then it'll be fine. In the middle of the night, one of the branches falls down and the gardener is like, I'll cut it up and we can put it in your fire for the night. And then he's the only one that notices that it's like this putrid smell. It's just like gagging. And then the apples finally bloom, and even the apples are just like tragic. Like they are disgusting to him, but everybody else thinks they're the sweetest apples. Yeah, very interesting. I won't give away like the ending by any means, but it's a very telling story of like how a housewife can be seen as like he was just like, I don't understand why you're doing so much. And she's like, well, it needs to be done anyway. And he's like, no, it doesn't. And then like he doesn't do it himself after she dies anyway. So anyway, so like that in the setting in the housewife, it's a very good segue into our next read next month of the Bell Jar, but or not next month, next time, because we're gonna read it in the next 2 weeks. This month, yeah, but later. next our next episode. But I kind of wanted to go over because you know, we have a little bit more time to spare. So I wanted to go over kind of like the tradition of how this like telling ghost stories on Christmas started. It's a Victorian tradition, and we all know that the Victorians are emos because like they're obsessed with death. I don't know if you know this either, but grave like iconography, it all means something. Like the hands up and the skull and it all means something. So they are obsessed with death, which is so funny. I know. So they thought that, I mean, a lot of people still do think this, but that the winter solstice is like when the veil is the thinnest between the living and the dead. So what a perfect time to tell stories, to tell ghost stories. It also used to be like people would be indoors, obviously, because like it used to be cold and dreary in some places.
Yes.
I should mention that because a lot of our Christmas traditions do come from colder climates.
Yes.
I need to do more research into other traditions, other winter solstice traditions, because I'm not familiarized with those.
I've been learning about desert traditions, and it's really neat. There's a lot.
You're gonna have to tell me about that.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So anyway, so everybody would just huddle around the fire and tell ghost stories, much like we do in camping nowadays. It used to be an oral tradition, but A Christmas Carol is the first that came around that was actually written down. But as I was doing my research, I figured out, or I learned that Christmas as we see it now did not exist. And it's actually a relatively new tradition. We it wasn't considered Christmas wasn't considered a federal holiday in America until 1870. That's only been like a couple hundred years. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
That is very crazy.
Oliver Cromwell in like the 1600s of his Puritan he decided that celebrating Christmas was a sign of decadence. So it was actually like canceled, outlawed until like from the 1600s until the late 1800s. You can't see my hands. 1600s to late 1800s. Which is just so interesting that like we have such a long span of time that we did not celebrate Christmas. Well, we celebrated it, but we didn't do it as obsessively as we do now.
Right.
In fact, the first time Christmas is attached to Jesus's birth was in 336 AD, which is like 330 years after he died. And
we all know
that's true.
His day was changed because those pagans.
Wait a minute. And most of the evidence in the Bible does suggest that his date of birth would have been somewhere in the spring, because like who's shepherding sheep in the middle of winter?
Yeah.
And it was actually Pope Julius I that decided that December 21st would be Jesus's birthday, because Saturnalia, the Roman holiday, has a very specific tradition on December 25th. So it was to adopt and absorb pagan traditions, which leads us into the next segment of our So there are two main cultures that celebrated winter solstice in such a way that we were able to adopt it. Like I said, I don't know much about like desert regions. You would have to fill me in on that one, but the Scandinavians obviously celebrated Yule. It was for several days during winter solstice. Typically, the winter solstice is about the 21st. Sometimes it's the 20th, sometimes it's the 22nd. It just depends on where the sun is. But they would, fathers and sons would go out into the woods and get a Yule log, a big, huge log, and they would burn it over several days. Typically, it would last about 12 days. And they would feast until the log burnt out. In Rome, like I said earlier, it was Saturnalia. It was kind of like this hedonistic celebration. You would celebrate and drink and party and give gifts and all of this fun stuff. But there was it's Mithra, I believe, is the goddess that god that they celebrated on December 25th. It was so it was actually her birthday too. Interesting.
Oh, weird.
I should say that like we are not Christians. No. We do celebrate Christmas because who doesn't? I mean, I shouldn't say it that way. Most people celebrate Christmas if you're not like Jewish, or if you're not, any other culture that celebrates a different winter holiday. Typically you fall under the Christmas umbrella. Although we are not Christians, we do celebrate Christmas in a sense. And I have nothing against if you are a Christian, so be it. I don't have anything against you being Jewish or anything, but for us personally, the pagan tradition feels a little more at home, I would say, because it celebrates more of like the natural life, the changing of the seasons. That's why I started really bringing and integrating more of like pagan traditions into our home.
And even though we celebrate like Christmas, we're literally doing all the pagan aspects of it. We have the tree in our house. We have the presents. It's not about we're not celebrating
Christ,
the birth of Jesus, like most people do with our Christmas. Just because it sounds very like hypocritical that we celebrate Christmas, but we're literally all the traditions are
pagan
traditions. The tree is very pagan, stockings pagan, gift giving pagan, like a lot of the things. So I do it on December 25th. It's more like that's what I grew up with. I wanted, it's just tradition more than it is about Christ for me.
Yes.
It's nothing. Like I said, I don't have anything. I have people in my family who are religious, and I have nothing against religion at all. It's just not for me. And I really do love Yule and pagan traditions as far as celebrating what provides for us, which is our planet. So
yes,
so I love that.
I thought that we could bring 2 rituals, or at least I brought 2 rituals. I don't know if you brought anything. No.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You had a lot going on.
No, it's okay. 2 rituals that generally I do participate in yearly, especially the magical nights tradition. The 12 days of Yule, they kind of go hand in hand, but I figured we would give it to you if you wanted to celebrate with us the way that we feel is the most comfortable. So the 12 magical nights is a way of it's kind of like getting you started into the new year. So starting on the 20th, you think of 13 obtainable wishes. This is important because you are going to be responsible for one of those. So you want to make sure that you are making them obtainable. Like, you're not going to wish for like world peace, right? Because you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, you could try, but I don't think you can do that in 1 year.
Yeah. No.
And to help with this, generally, I recommend doing like a journaling ahead of time as to like what you really want and why. Because like you could put, I want Louis Vuittons. It's like, but why? So actually like pre-journaling, writing down, I find that like stream of consciousness really does help with this. Like just write whatever's on the top of your head and then you're done with it. And then you can go on to your wishes. Write them down on paper and write them in present tense. So like, for example, I have blank amount in my bank account. It's like, you want to make sure that you are not putting it into the future because the universe doesn't really know what future tense is. It knows I have it right now.
Yes.
If that's something that you believe in. And then you want to tear them out individually in a clockwise fashion. And then really think about like these goals, these wishes as you're doing this. Like what does this wish mean to me? What will it look like when I have this? Yada, yada.
Doing it with intention.
Do it with intention. And then fold it into yourself. So when you have it ripped, you fold it to you. That's going to bring it to you instead of away from you. And then starting on the 21st, you're going to burn one each night. So on the 21st, you're going to burn the first one. You don't want to look at them yet, but you should probably keep a list of it somewhere else just so you can look back on it to see like what you wanted.
Right.
And then it is optional if you want to at the same time pull like a tarot card or a rune to kind of set the theme for the month of the next year. So the 21st would be January, the 22nd would be February, so on and so forth. Once you get to the final wish, the 13th wish, that is up to you. You need to spend the next year attaining that wish.
Yes. And I love that.
Isn't it fun? I do it every year.
Fun. I'm thinking about writing mine down in my so our Christmas villages and how we want to like write to ourselves. I think it'd be fun to put our wishes
in there
and that, and then we can like look back on them. And that'd be a super fun thing.
I also last year got like paper incense, so that's also something that is helpful too. so that you can write it on the incense, and then it instead of just like burning a piece of paper, you're burning like incense, so it actually makes your house smell nice at the same time. Because I'm a fire hazard sometimes.
No, I think that would be super. That's cool. I haven't bought any of that. She's regular paper. I want my kids to do it this year too. I think it'd be
that. Yeah, that's also part of the fun too, is that it can be like a family tradition. Yeah,
I'm a sucker for traditions.
Me too.
So
obviously.
We've talked about this, right? Yeah, I think that's so fun, dude. Like, I definitely want to do that. I think we did it when you guys came out.
I think so.
Christmas came out. Yeah, I think we did. So that was fun.
It's very fun.
We all did it.
Especially when you all do it.
Yeah, like my mom and my dad, like we all did it, so it made it super. Did my dad do it?
I think so. Yeah,
it was super fun. What a fun time. Anyways,
so go ahead.
The celebration of the 12 days of Yule, you're going to get into that?
Yeah. So I mean, it works the same way. Like, you're already burning some incense, so while you're burning those incense, there also is like thematic days of Yule too. Some of them are dependent on your personal preferences, and what I could find online, a lot of them were like somebody had a different theme for this day and this day and this day, but for the most part, the 20th is always Mother's Night. So on the first day of Yule, the 20th, celebrate mothers. And if you don't have like a good relationship with your mother, you can always like just participate in things that give you that like maternal feeling. Baking cookies, making crafts, light a candle for like your female ancestors. And again, if you don't feel a connection to your female ancestors, then do it to like female other entities.
Energy.
Right. So
what you feel is
right. And
brings that out.
That's another thing that to sidetrack, I really do appreciate about like pagan traditions is that it is very personable. So you can change it depending on how you feel. The rituals can change. Yeah.
There's no concrete, like, this is what you must do.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And even if you remember and do one day or you do all 12, that is fine.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this.
Yeah.
There's just no judgment. And that's just a wonderful thing. But these are all, I think, great things to participate in.
The 21st is the solstice. Traditionally, folks would rise before dawn and be awake with the sun, because again, that's a very symbolic in the tradition, is that it's the shortest day of the year. That's why we celebrate it. So waking up with the sun, and then there's a traditional feast of pork that goes back to Norse. But if you're vegetarian, just feast on whatever. And the Norse used to like make oaths on this day. So like, and they're very particular. You do not break oaths. Breaking an oath means death. So make sure that it's a oath that you're willing to, keep.
Yes.
I will stay married to my husband for a year or something, The 22nd is the day of the ancestors. So not just mothers, but all of your ancestors. A lot of people also include like your land spirits too within this. So like talking about Snake Eater, make sure that you're, honoring them as well. Light a candle, write a letter to them for asking for guidance, make their favorite recipe. Like, these are things that it doesn't take a whole day to celebrate. It's just things that you can do to honor each day. The 23rd is Hearth and Home. Clean your kitchen, make a simmer pot. We love simmer pots. Make something that's knitted, crocheted, or sewn to, again, symbolize the hearth and home. Odin's Day. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I think I probably have because it's one of my favorite things. But the days of the week are named for Norse gods. So Odin is Wednesday. So on the 24th, it is Odin's Day. It also is the start of the Wild Hunt.
Yes.
Which is just such a silly, fun thing. Tradition says that Odin would, well, in some traditions it's Odin, in others it's like the king. It depends on what. Yeah. It is important to note too that a lot of what we know of Norse mythology comes from Iceland, and much later on. So keep grain of salt. But the idea is that he would go on a rampage at night, and anybody that was out would be subject to the Wild Hunt. So like you would either become part of his hunting party or, die. So if you don't want to partake in that, stay indoors after dark, light a candle, leave an offering outside for like his steeds, Sleipnir. Close all your windows, veil your mirrors, doors closed, all of that. And then if you so feel, you can do a protective charm. And of course, always honor your dead and do dream work. Odin was very known for his dreams and interpretations and poetry and all of that. So keep that up. The 25th is self-explanatory because it is gift giving day. So give your gifts. After that is Huga. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Could be wrong. But because we have celebrated so much, we want to focus on comfort after the celebration. So your hot chocolate, your mulled wine, your cider, just cozy up, relax. If you got a book for Christmas, read it, Yeah. On the 27th, it is more of a volunteer and service. So share a meal, reach out to someone that you may have overlooked in your family during the season. Like, hey, how are you this Christmas? Like all that fun stuff. Or you could donate to your local food pantry, maybe donate some of your old clothes. That's a good time to remember what you have and extend that to other people. The 28th, this one was kind of hard because I found different, some people said it was a deer, some people said it was a goat, but in Norse tradition it is a Yule goat, so it depends on, again, how you celebrate, but you could bake like Yule goat cookies, or I have a Yule goat that we will burn for that day. Just make sure that you are being fire safe. And then on the 29th, you want to celebrate the Oak King. There is this, I don't actually know where the tradition started or the story started, but there is the Oak King and the Holly King. And this might actually be like a Celtic tradition. I don't know. But during from the winter solstice to summer solstice, the Holly King is in charge. From summer solstice to winter solstice, the Holly King is in charge. So you want to honor the Oak King by going for a walk, cleaning your home, open your doors, find oak trees if you can. I know it might be difficult for you. Yeah. That's why I think we would have to probably add some more desert into this for
and there is desert traditions. I've looked a little too. They use a lot of cactus and stuff in their practices.
There you go.
For their altars as well. They use yuccas and like very it's specific on what they use, and it goes into why. I just haven't deep dived into
done
a deep dive into it, but I plan on it.
Yeah, that might be something that we can bring into our this in 2026 because I feel like connecting to nature is another way of rebellion.
Yeah.
On the 30th, which is going to be New Year's Eve, you want to do it's like almost a bracelet of 3 different colors that are going to represent the past, present, and future. And then you want to braid them together as like a bracelet that you can keep for the remaining of the year. Just to remind yourself of like what you have done so far and where you want to go. My last and favorite one, well, not favorite, but I can't even pronounce it, Arskong, also known as the Year Walk. So this is actually a tradition that has happened. And I play a game that is this. It's so much fun. So it is like this way of divination where they would actually do this. You would go all day without eating. I'm not going to do that. And you would stay away from like people, and you would be in like a dark room all day until midnight, and then you would start your walk. And the story goes that you would meet obstacles along the way, either supernatural beings or like you would see flashes of the future, all of this stuff. So it was a way of seeing what was going to happen in the next year. So that's why you would do it on the 31st. But I would recommend maybe just going for a nice moonlit walk instead of like actually participating all the way. But it is a very fun game. It is, I'll have to show you. It's $5.99 on Steam. I used to play it when I lived in South Dakota every year. And it's like a little puzzle game. It is kind of creepy too. But it's just a nice way of like marking the year. So Year Walk.
Oh, it is called Year Walk. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Yeah.
It's on Steam. Fun. Yeah. And I think you would have a blast with it.
Yeah. I'll have to check.
There's 2 endings, but you can't get the second one until you get the first one. So.
Okay.
But yeah, it has moments where it like jumps out at you, but
yeah, I like stuff like that.
But for you viewer, not you, Stephanie, this is the viewer night. You could go for a lone walk at midnight or twilight or dawn, depending on what you feel safe with. Don't speak while you're doing it. Just pay attention to everything that you see and then write down later. And then maybe, if you have the time, go and look at like the symbolism of what really stood out to you. And then, but I really like the idea of having a rune for each month. And then like the final wish of the year being the theme of the year, and then pulling a rune for that too.
Yes. I love that. That's fun. So what are you reading right now?
I am currently reading Little Women by, what is her name? Louisa May Alcott. It was also written around the time that Christmas became popular again. There are moments, so it's thematic. Oh my goodness. It follows these 4 daughters throughout a year. Yeah. Starts on Christmas, ends on Christmas. So I thought it was, and it's one of those classics that you always mean to read and then you never actually get around to it.
You like see the movie and you're like, I want to read that.
Yeah.
And you don't.
Oh, and then I probably will watch the movie again too.
Oh yeah. For sure.
Or both, because there's 2 of them. What are you reading?
Yeah. Strength. I have like 3 hours left. Okay. Like I said, I've been busy, so I haven't been reading as much as I usually do. I've been wrapping presents and just doing things. We have our kitty coming next Friday. So I've been getting everything ready for her.
You're going to have to show everybody like, beep.
I know. I'm going to have to like hold her.
Yeah.
There she is. And she's the cutest.
I know. I'm so jealous. I'm just kidding. I have 2 animals.
I know. I'm so excited for her. She's so cute. Anyways. So yeah, maybe I will share on our next episode with us. She'll be like right here. So our bathroom it's like I hate it if it's open concept.
Yeah.
So it's just like a wall.
It's just
Now the toilet is its own little baby room off to the side, but the main area of the bathroom, and it's good size, is open concept. We do have like a curtain because I know my husband's my husband, but like I ain't trying to like get out of the shower and do all the things I do with him. Like,
don't look at me.
It's weird. I don't. And then sometimes my kids like need something, they just walk in like, no, we ain't doing that. Anyways, but it is going to be nice for this because that's where we're gonna kind of like gate off that area for her little safe area for about a week or whenever she feels more comfortable with us, because we'll spend some time with her, like just sit in there with her, you know, wait for her to come to us, all the things you do, and then we'll eventually let her out. But yeah, she'll be right by me, so I'll have to show her.
I'm so excited.
I know, I can't wait. Anyways, yeah, so I haven't been reading as much because of all the things that have been going on. So I have about 3 hours left. I plan on finishing it probably tonight. Working on my puzzle, you know, just listening to my book. So yeah, so next though, the next book we will both be reading is The Bell Jar. Like I said, if anybody wants to read it as well, it is if you have a Kindle, it is on Kindle Unlimited. Probably most libraries you'll be able to find it easily. Yeah. If you're not, I know like everyone's spending their money right now, and everything is so expensive right now.
Yeah.
So check your local libraries and stuff. If you do have a Kindle and the subscription, then yeah, go ahead and get it on KU. And so everyone knows The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. It's chronicles the crack up of Esther Greenwood, brilliant, beautiful, enormously talented, and successful, but slowly going under. Maybe for the last time, Sylvia Plath masterfully draws the reader into Esther's breakdown with such intensity that Esther's insanity becomes completely real and even rational, as probable and accessible an experience as going to the movies. Such deep penetration into the dark and harrowing corners of the psyche is an extraordinary accomplishment and has made The Bell Jar a haunting American classic. So I know we're both very excited.
I'm very excited. And I'm very excited to start our descent into more, I don't know, radical books. Yes.
Yes.
And maybe this is a thought to all of the folks too, is that we want more books that are radical, that are also written by women, because of course you always get 1984 and Animal Farm and stuff, which we will be reading. It's just that they are male authors, so if we could find female authors that have similar plights, that would be fantastic.
Oh, that would be amazing. Yes. Please let us know. You did find one that we're going to read. I don't know if you're going to talk about the next episode, but that one sounds really interesting, and I think we're going to be reading that in the beginning of the month.
The Women Who Run with Wolves. I forget who it's written by, but it goes more into the depth of the archetype of woman. So as we're also reading, again, 1984 and Animal Farm and all of that, we still want to kind of put our femininity into it too, right? And not femininity in the sense of like, beauty and stuff, but like that's the woman archetype is often overlooked.
Yes.
So that was my idea as to why we should start reading it as well, because yeah. And then as far as February, we'll figure that out later.
Yeah. We'll get that to that.
Yeah. But do you have anything else?
I don't. That's all I have.
All right. That's all for today's episode of Novelty with S&B. Thank you so much for joining us.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. I've been your co-host, Stephanie.
I'm back.
This has been Novelty with S&B. See you in the next chapter.